I go to door. I go houses too. And, seniors are very picky who comes through their door, especially someone they don't know, right? So, had to build a nice, reputation online. People can Google me. There's tons about me now. Building a trustful brand. That's why I never put it on Amazon because I don't want to grow my brand on Amazon. I don't want to throw it on there like everyone else. I want to grow it organically outside of it where people can see I'm actually taking time to work with them. And people would even call me to, hey, this is not working to them. So I'll drive to their house and like help them learn about it and to make it worth their while because I don't want people having it, they don't use it.
Step into the world of success with Your Brand Amplified, the ultimate podcast designed to unravel the intricacies of thriving businesses. I'm your host, Annika Jackson, and I'm on a mission to uncover the stories, strategies, and secrets that have propelled entrepreneurs and business leaders to success. I am thrilled to have Michael Leung on the show today. Michael, you and I have been going back and forth about getting you on for quite a while now. And the day is here. And you have some great things to talk about with your company, the Flow Group. Before we get into that, you have a very unique story of being a non-English speaking immigrant to now being a founder with so much purpose. So will you take us back to coming to Canada, what that was like, what brought you there, and how life unfolded for you then to decide to start your own organization?
Yeah, obviously I can speak perfect English now, but when I first came, I was kind of like the Fez, of that '70s show. So yeah, I was lucky. I was my friends really took me in, helped me, teach me English. So my family actually came to Canada because we were worried about the communists taking over Hong Kong. That was in '86. And of course, they didn't do it for like a little while after. We left a little too early. But when we came to Canada, it was a big change because it was like the weather change, right? From hot to cold. When we saw snow, it was like, oh my God, it was like a totally different planet, So I was like dressed different, like, talk different, look different. I felt kind of out of place at first. But, my family gave up a lot to move to Canada. We seemed like we are doing okay in Hong Kong. And then when we came to Canada, I felt like we were more in the lower income family. Like we lived in a small house, like a ghetto car. It was, like we made our own toys. I remember making like my own hockey helmet with paper and like pads with paper and like cardboard and stuff. It was, and like I would wear the same clothes all the time. My mom would just buy me sweatpants and sweat clothes, and there's holes in it, and she'll patch it up with hearts and like circles. But yeah, I remember it was my best times were my elementary and junior high days. That was when I was more a happier kid, I think. My mom passed away when I was in grade 9 from cancer, and that was the hardest thing I ever had to deal with, and that changed my life dramatically, right? It was like 0 to 100 from straight A student to getting kicked out of school, fighting, stealing, like joining like a little gang, like really early in my life, grade 10, ran away from home multiple times. Just very, very drastic change, right? And because my mom was such a loving, hugging parent, which is kind of different in Asian cultures, they're more, like my dad, like they don't really, if you do well, they don't really like hug you, kiss you, like, oh, good job. They're just like, nice, right? But my mom was the loving, kissing, like mom and very nurturing. And she walked me to school until grade 6, And when she didn't come home, I'd cry. I was just like a mommy's boy. So when she got diagnosed, we didn't know. Like they just told us she'll be cured. They didn't want to tell us the worst. She was already fatal. It was like pretty much terminal. Like it was stage, like one of the later stages.
Wow.
But she lasted 9 months, so she was a warrior, right? And we were kind of told to be a Catholic. I wasn't really like wanting, I didn't know much about religion, but then kind of forced into that, being Catholic, pray every day, your mom will get cured. I prayed every day, and, and she died horrifically, like she lost so much weight, her hair fell off. She couldn't recognize us at the end. She died near Mother's Day. So when it's Mother's Day, it really hits me. So I was really, really bad for probably even like 15, 20 years after, like just a span of just like just partying and drinking and like just doing stupid stuff. But I never got my act together for a long time. It was just it was almost like I didn't care about life anymore, and I had like like near death experiences. It was quite dramatic. My family almost gave up on me. It was like because all my family they're all girls, and I was the only guy that's supposed to pass on the name. So Asian culture is very important.
Yeah.
So yeah, it made my dad's life a living hell, and I think over the years, I just felt like I wanted to change my life around. And my ex girlfriend I met, she's my ex now. We're still really good friends, but she changed my life and really changed my trajectory of how to be smarter about things. Don't invest with the wrong people. Try to get your life healthier, your mind healthier. My mental state was not the best, trauma. So she really helped me a lot over the years, and I always bring her up in all the podcasts and stuff, right? We're still great friends. So I ended up losing my vision partially on one side 10, 12, 11 years ago. I had a really serious retinal detachment. But from there, I had a cataract surgery, complications. And then I ended up noticing I was tripping, falling, and running into things all the time on my one side, which didn't make any sense. So then we got checked, and then I had something called retinitis pigmentosa. So I've lost my peripheral and my net vision on one side, which makes sense why I keep shoulder checking people on one side only, and start leaping off stairs, right? So that was the main, I guess that really changed my trajectory of why I wanted to start my own company, because I don't know what's going to happen 10 years from now. I could lose my sight completely. I wanted to do something socially impactful. I want to get off my lazy butt and actually get something going, because I don't know how much time I've left, right? It could go in my central vision any day too. So that's kind of where it started. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's so much to unpack there. I come from an Asian family as well. So I understand all of the things that you're saying, and had a lot of family members who were very wealthy in Thailand and then came to the United States and really had to start over and didn't have all of that. It can be really difficult when you have great skill set in one country to translate it into a new one, and to have, I think when people are trying to assimilate, right? But so you're kind of teetering two sides of the coin. The way of your life and your culture, and then this new country that you're living in, and trying to make sense of it all. So you went through so much tragedy for the time of your mom. You, say that you had somebody in your life who helped bring you back a little bit. You had some health issues that were also setbacks and probably also gave you time to pause. So, what was it that prompted you to then create the Flow Group? Because you have sight impairment, but you're working on sound impairment.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a great question. But this product actually helps people that are blind as well. So it actually helps people who are blind and deaf, right? So when you have your sight diminished, especially people who have profound sight loss, they need their hearing to be next level. Like your next sense is your hearing, right? So you need that enhanced, like Daredevil. So now you can use that to navigate, just be more alert, be more safe around your surroundings. You want to hear what's coming close to you, right? So people are using it as an assistive hearing, like and sight, like for so multi purposes for this, right? So we've been testing it on people that have sight loss, and they've been finding it very useful. I work with blind athletes, hearing. I work with autistic children, learn better in school, funner in school, and then dementia patients. They're actually liking this better because they can't have anything in the ear. They like stuff outside the ear. It's an open ear design, so nothing's in your ear, nothing's intrusive, and no earwax buildup. So it's just nice and light and comfortable to wear. And I tested many products, and I wanted to do something impactful, socially impactful. So I was like, okay, like hearing and sight is obviously so important, right? Because I looked at myself, sight, but then it's hard to find devices or new technology for sight. So I was like, next thing is hearing, right? So, but I slowly learned that it could help both. So then my family owns factories in Asia. We were pondering ideas, and then they came up with this open ear bone conduction headphone. But that was it. And I found out there's too many of them out there. And I was like, I don't want to do this, but I really like the idea that it's open ear. So then they sent me to another supplier. They already had this this product that was kind of hasn't been out yet, but then we're thinking of the same idea that we want this amplification added into this now. So now it aids hearing. So it becomes like an assistive hearing device. So now you have this headphone that looks like a headphone that does everything a Shocks does, but then now you can use it to socially engage with it. So it's kind of neat where people, especially people that have that stigma, they don't want to wear hearing aids, that they think it's too, makes you look, hearing loss. So now they wear this, and they have this special amplifier that's like like James Bond of hearing aids, I guess now they. And with the open ear bone conductions, those healthiest way of hearing, use sound vibrations, which amplifies from your skull, right, into your inner ear. So it's like sound vibration that travels through your skull into your inner ear. So it's helped people to have all kinds of hearing loss, people that have injuries, people like labor workers, people that have been sick, accidents, anything that's had damage to the ears, has been improving significantly. Seniors also. So I work with lots of seniors. That's kind of where I'm in right now, but I'm expanding to all different markets because it really helps all markets. So.
Yeah. Well, let's backtrack a little bit and talk about how did you regain trust and build up the skill set to say, I can market this, I can create the strategy. I am an expert because obviously you have an impairment, but how did all those things come together where you had then the confidence to start the company and to become a founder?
For sure. So all these years, I've kind of trusted the wrong people, threw my money into the wrong investments, never came back very good. Lost a lot of friends through that, and just not researching, not really like putting all my effort into something. And that's where my ex-girlfriend told me, like, stop wasting your money on other people's ideas, right? Think of your own ideas. Because at least if it fails with you. It doesn't fail with someone else. So that really resonated with me. And I think all the failures that I had some positive things, but it's the failures in life that make you really not want to make the same mistakes again, right? So I come from a business background. I did hotel management for a while, but I did everything I could to try to get the management position, but discrimination, there's lots of stuff that kind of happened that made me really want to be my own boss, my own, my own person, my own company. So over the years, I had like a real estate investment company, did stocks. I had a waste management company, and they're okay, but they're not like steady or consistent. So when I came to wanting to have my own brand, I just took all my different like strengths. I'm a creative guy. I have ADHD like to the max, and that when I really care about something, it's like 100 billion% into it. So I learned visually. I have never finished a book, but I'm very smart with a lot of things. And when this idea came, it was just like, I'm really happy that this is my first idea and it's my first brand that actually is doing, pretty well. It has so many potential to be, global next year. And the fact that so many different people like it and it's such an affordable, accessible product, right? That it makes me really happy. And I think it's a lot of like trialing, testing the products too. I tested a lot of products, a lot of them I didn't like. Then you finally hone into the one product that really works, right? And even my very first product was a 50-50. It was like kind of like feedback, negative feedback, positive feedback, because there was background sounds. It was like too many buttons, for seniors. But it was because of those moments and working with seniors, they tell you like what they like, what they think works. So you have to listen to other people, right? And we evolved and brought another product in that's like way more advanced, improvements in all directions, tons of features added. So now my Flow True Balance 2.0, now it's high demand. It's like we've sold more in 1.5 months than 2 years combined in my first one.
Oh my gosh.
So, and in a month and a half, then double that. So it's like and then we got partnerships with senior brands and just welcoming me in. They just like, and different cities. I go city to city and they all just love it. It's just easy to use, senior friendly. It's a necessity. It's socially impactful. So it's something I think everyone should try to find something to promote that they love and that they can resonate, because I have a sight impairment. So people really like engage with me, right? I'm not just a seller. I'm actually someone that they can resonate. So just fell in the right time, right place. The world is really into socially impactful things now, right? So, and yeah, because hearing aids have been around so long, they never changed the design. and people are just kind of getting sick of it. So anything new is like, woo, like, hey, let's try this out, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what was the first? You said you did some testing, right? Have your first markets been in Canada?
Yeah, the first markets in Western Canada, like we just finally did some in BC and they loved it. And then Medicine Hat. So I drive around kind of Alberta just to do events, senior expos, and I work with most senior brands in Alberta now. So we're now trying to branch over to Ontario. So Eastern Canada, just try to get because Toronto is the biggest hub, right? So lots of seniors there, lots of labor workers, war veterans and stuff, etc. Right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So how do you decide what the next market is that you're going to go into after you've conquered the senior market? Because it sounds like there's unlimited potential.
Yeah, there is a limited, but I'm just so focused on the seniors right now because it takes so long for you to get their trust because seniors are they've been ripped off lots by lots of different things, right? So they're aware of what people like scams and stuff, right? So when I go and I work with them, like event after event, like one on one, big groups, small groups, they see that you actually care, right? And you take the time. It's not about money. You take the time and you sit and talk to them about their life, and like they feel like wanted and needed. And when they have this, they feel inclusive now. They don't feel like they're excluded. So a lot of seniors feel, a lot of senior homes said lack of participation. They notice seniors are more kind of shrinking back because they can't hear properly. They have hearing aids. They don't want to wear them. So now we brought this in and we notice things are improving morale wise in the working environment because people are not yelling at each other anymore. They're just talking calmly and people are socially engaging, which is nice, like, and seniors industry is so underserved. So I feel like it was a industry I wanted to help. And it's such a big untapped market. And of course, baby boomers, anyone that has hearing loss it's 1.6 billion people in the world that have hearing loss to some point in their life, right? 300 million that have sight issues. So imagine how impactful worldwide it could be because there's people all over the world that can use something that's so inexpensive, right? That can't afford hearing aids. So yeah, I think that I've been just slowly kind of putting my footprints on different markets, kind of networking. So the next one would probably be, laborers, like like welders, riggers, like, coal miners, anyone that has noise damage from equipment or sounds would really benefit from this. Children with special needs. Children market is probably last one because it's a little bit harder to get into that market because parents are involved. So you have to really, parents are involved and there's a lot of the things are government related. So you gotta have to break a lot of walls to get in. But the ones I have worked with are pretty happy with it. But even the Indigenous community, I'm a member of this Canadian Indigenous business platform, and that also is another area I'm targeting towards because Indigenous community would love this product as well. So anyone would love this. So yeah.
Yeah. And do you find, so you said you've talked a lot about in-person events, right? Where people can actually try on, they can meet you multiple times, you can gain their trust. What about your digital footprint? What kind of marketing do you do there?
Yeah, so that's my thing that I've been trying to improve myself, and I have a social media team now. We've been posting, twice a week, and like more stories that's more like life-changing stories. I like to put up like people who resonate towards like how the specific individual, why they left this product, how their hearing was impaired, and just that those are more authentic and genuine because you can't keep throwing up the same stuff and like your hearing device, hey, buy it. Like you gotta try different ways. I got my .can.com website, so I have two websites, improve the search engine, put blogs up, just like different things to try to get more exposure. Lots of podcasting. I got some really big ones coming up in December. That's like the like 0.05, 0.005, like the really high ones, right? Like, so they don't really just take anybody. I had to go through some really long interviews and some of them interview celebrities, right? So for me to get on those shows, it's going to be global. It's going to be like great. And Dragon's Den next year, auditioning for Dragon's Den. Legacy Makers we finished, so that's going to be on all major streaming platforms in January. So Legacy Makers is a spin-off of Shark Tank. So it's like So it's 500 entrepreneurs in the world that get to talk about their life story. And it's like a Netflix kind of like little mini biography about you, right? So all those things combined is just me learning how to try to bring my product out there for more people to know. And yeah, it's the traffic's getting busier and like online is like people like to try things in person, which I noticed. Like it's because they want to see how it feels. So
Yeah.
when it comes to hearing, some people might not be like, I don't know, because like I want to just buy it, right? So eventually, when more and more people, engage with it, more and more people are wearing it, I feel like it takes time, but I'm very happy with how short of a time it's only been 2 years, so, and nothing really happened majorly till this year. So, and it was also because of my breakup with me and my ex. It really took a chunk of my life away, but then it also brought me back into the world, like regular, like back to normal, like life, because you can't just be down on yourself, and it like last year when we broke up, it was like I drank heavily. I was like almost gave up, and it was my friends that fished me out of the water, and I just cut off everybody, and I'm just all into like working out, therapy. I'm sober almost for a year now. It's like really helps my mental state, and it wasn't because it was like the drinking was a problem. I just don't really actually even like the taste of it. It's just I didn't want to show up to work and do events hungover or look like I'm tired. So yeah, it's really refreshing working with people in person because you see the results in person, and some of them are just remarkable. Like they're crying. They're like, "Whoa!" They're like, "I haven't heard in 8 years out of this ear," and it just worked, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you mentioned so many important things. The first being that we all have a story. We all have things going on in our lives that can affect what we do at work, or it can affect the way we look at each other or at ourselves, right? The confidence, it can really affect that. The belief in ourselves to be able to do something and do something well. I also hear that you honed in on something that was affecting you directly. So while you tried all these other business ventures, this time you did believe in yourself. You solved a problem for yourself that could also solve a problem for so many other people. So you obviously have the research and the data to back it up. I think that the fact that you are so genuine probably really helps when you're talking to people because they know that there's an automatic trust there. You can tell you're not going to BS somebody.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. So there are so many important elements. And then a really big one, of course, it would have been hard to launch this brand during the pandemic, but people want to be in person with people. They want to try things, they want to connect. And you're offering all of that as well as a solution that's going to change their lives for the better.
100%. And I think I go to door. I go houses too. And seniors are very picky who comes through their door, especially someone they don't know, right? So had to build a nice reputation online. People can Google me. There's tons about me now. Building a trustful brand. That's why I never put it on Amazon because I don't want to grow my brand on Amazon. I don't want to throw it on there like everyone else. I want to grow it organically outside of it where people can see I'm actually taking time to work with them. And people would even call me to, hey, this is not working to that. So I'll drive to their house and like help them learn about it and to make it worth their while. Because I don't want people having it, they don't use it. So call, and they have a number. They email me. I'm like doing everything, but eventually I got to start giving other things or I was going to go crazy. But they really they're like, you're going to go a long way, young man. Because they're like, you really care. And they're like, don't stop be who you are. Because, when things get really big later, you might change or you don't have time for people. But for now, I'm really like enjoying just going to senior homes and just like working with them. Some people, it takes longer because they take longer because technology, right? So I really encourage them whenever I do presentations that, hey, the ones I work with really come out of their comfort zone. They've seen the best results. The ones that are like, nah, I'm good. They obviously are not going to see it, but they'll see other people around them. So then they'll get involved. But now I think more seniors are really seeing this purpose, and 95% of my clients are women that come out. So I'll have 40, 50 people in an event. There's two guys and 48 women. And I always joke around how after the event, the women be like, can you come up to my room? My husband wants to see you in privacy because we're proud, right? So my uncle's like, I'm not deaf, I'm not deaf, and he'll never wear hearing aids. But he wouldn't even wear my product because Asians, they're not supportive of their own people. So we had to put it on when he's sleeping, and my cousin tricked him, and he was able to hear, and that's when he started wearing them.
Oh my gosh. Wow, what a story.
I had to go through that to get him to do it.
That's amazing. But yeah, I think about so many elders that I know who don't want to wear hearing aids or they forget to put them in, and what an issue it is because it's not a good quality of life for them, but then they are ashamed, right? Or they don't like the way it looks or feels or whatever the case may be. The fact that you're going door to door, that's such an old quality, right? That's something you don't see these days with people who so it just shows your intentionality and your belief as well in your own brand and your and what you're putting out into the world. So what about your team? You said you have a social media team, but do you handle pretty much everything yourself right now? And what is that going to look like when you start shifting? Who do you think your first hire will be?
Great questions. Yeah. Right now, I'm doing everything. I'm even doing drop-offs. Like I'm bringing I had a big supply that came in yesterday. It's like in my condo, and I have so many boxes here, so I have to move it to my warehouse. And my car can only fit so many boxes, so it's like I have to move two at a time. And it's like it's different because it's my baby, and I don't want to just trust anybody with it. A lot of people have been approaching me to hire them for sales, for anything, and a lot of people think they can sell something, but I don't want people just selling it. I want them to feel it, right? It's like I have a story to tell. So I don't want to ruin my brand just to hire just my friends or anybody. So it's gonna be a long process for those people. And like for me to start delegating duties, it's gonna be small bits at a time. And I did have some sleeping problems for a while. That's my biggest thing where I would sleep for 3 hours a day. And I'll wake up because I have ideas. I'm just like, always just constantly thinking. So my ex is like, she's like, you gain a lot of white hairs now because I saw her. She's always plucking them out of my head, plucking them, and now she's like, there's too many. I can't. I'm like, yeah, just leave them. Like, I don't. I might mind the salt and pepper is like, but I'm 44. Finally, my white hairs are coming out, right? And some people are like, oh my god, I thought you're 30. It's like, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like I'm like 50, 60 now inside, But yeah, for now, I'm really happy doing things like this. I do a lot of events. I'm fully booked for like a month and a half, 2 months, like just senior, like Christmas events, vendor events, expos. And then I'm trying to do 7 cities in Ontario next year, just driving 30, 40 minutes, just drive around, do 3 events per day, just to get more people to know about my product. Even if people don't buy, I'm not even because I know it's going to just spread eventually. But I even have small gaps between my time where people call me and say, hey, can you come to my house and test my grandma? I'm like, sure. So tomorrow I'm testing a grandma, and the day after I'm testing a grandma. Just have like little gaps of hour breaks, and I'll just do it, right? So people respect that, right? So
Yeah. Well, we'll have to bring you back on in a year and see where you're at
yeah,
then, because
for
hopefully
sure.
you'll have continued to grow. Hopefully you will have hired some people to help you on the right team. I completely get where you are. I don't have physical products, right? I have digital products, but there is something really satisfying about really loving what you do and doing it with intention and grinding it out and taking time to make sure people, whether they're direct sale right then or not, that you still know that you're helping people, you're helping educate people, and they're going to share the message, even if they're not ready for it. They'll tell their friend, "Oh, I know this guy who can help." So there's a lot going for you, and even your tenacity to come on this show, like that's a great example of everything that you're telling me right now about your own business.
Oh,
So
thank you. Appreciate that. Hopefully, when I come, I'm gonna have all white hairs by then.
yeah.
This guy looks different. So I was like, oh, he's wrinkles everywhere. But yeah.
Well, what is the number one piece of advice that you would impart on the audience? Anybody who's listening who has a business, is getting tired, fed up, right? All the politics going on in the world, the tariffs, the recession, like all of these things that are coming up that can make us want to just curl up inside and not put out our goodness.
Yeah, I love your questions. Actually, I've done so many podcasts. Your questions are it's genuine. It hits so many different areas, and it's like, and maybe you say it in a way that other people don't say it. It's just more, I resonate with it. It's cool. I think that people that never had a business before or had failures in business, sometimes they're like, oh, okay, like they're worried about the next product because they can't fail again because they lost a lot of money. And it really depends. Like a lot of people during the pandemic, lots a lot of money. So now is a good time, I think, for if it's socially impactful, because if my product wasn't, I don't think I would be sitting here talking about so many different channels and avenues and how people are jumping on it. Because it's so different that no one's seen before, and we patented, we trademarked it, and that's why people are so engaged with it, man. It's a necessity. It's something that's never gonna be boring, never gonna get, it's not a trend that's gonna die, So I'm gonna keep evolving every couple of years of a 3.0, 4.0. And that's how you kind of keep, it's a market that I feel like it's such a blessing I got into. And because I got the trust and all these people interested, now I'm going, grab by the horn and run with it. So people that have an idea like this, something like this, that they can resonate with on a personal level, don't sell something that everyone else have done, really something like research, something that's not has been done, and you really make it in your own brand and really make it important to other people. Because there are stuff out there that's being sold that people just don't care about, but then the moment it's different, in a different marketed in a different way through that person, because that person is a different, has a personal story behind it, now is a completely different thing. So I say just be creative and just don't worry about failures, but be invest calculatively. Don't just throw your money in anywhere. Just take your time, do due diligence, right? Research. Yeah.
Amazing. And Michael, do you have a favorite quote, mantra, verse, poem, family motto, words of wisdom that you'd like to impart on us tonight?
For quotes and stuff, I usually, for some reason, I just really like the Bruce Lee quote about the be water, be water. He's like, be water, my friend. Water can crash, water can flow. It's just, it's just saying like, don't give up when there's like hardships and stuff. Just like, you gotta just kind of go, you gotta go with everything that you believe in, and you can just, just flow like water. Just flow with the wind, even, like it's just taking a chance, in yourself is important, right? It's a lesson in life. You gotta try to take chances, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And of course, we will have your website linked in the show notes for people to check out. Maybe you'll get some US business for next year out of some listeners. So
awesome. I love that. I love that.
Other new markets to your repertoire. So.
Yes. I love the American market would be great. I'm just trying to start slowly getting into that too, with Legions and Lions Club and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for an inspiring conversation. Love that you have a product that impacted you, that now it can impact millions of people around the world, and that you've thought about really creating a business that, yes, businesses are for revenue, but that also will give people so much joy in their lives.
100%. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you to everybody who's watching this episode or listening to it on your favorite platform. Leave us a rating, review, and tune in to our next episode with another amazing guest. In the meantime, I know that we all have a loved one who would be interested in this product. So don't forget to check out Michael's website and learn more about the Flow Group. Thanks for listening or watching to this episode of Your Brand Amplified. Don't forget to leave us a rating or review on your favorite podcast listening platform. And if you want to learn more, check us out at yourbandamplified.com.